Yo, YouTube, what's up? It's your boy, White Trash Trucker, and I'm coming at you all with another White Trash Trucker video. In case you all were unfamiliar, unaware, or forgot, I am the trashiest trucker on YouTube. And I'm not coming at you today. This is a monumental video. I'm not coming at you as a company driver. I'm not coming at you as a lease operator. I'm coming at you as a full-fledged fucking owner-operator, baby. I'm self-employed. I work for myself. I don't work for nobody but myself. But I contract for MGR because they have my back. So shouts out to MGR. But I am an owner-operator now. I own my own truck, and I took a few videos, probably 3 or 4 videos before this, and I was wanting to do a video about my experience getting my own truck. To be honest with you, if I was really to give it to you, the shit would go on for an hour, and it would get like really lengthy, and I would have to add a whole bunch of things. It just would, I think that you all would kind of get bored with it somewhere in between 10 minutes and an hour. So I'm giving you all the short version. I'm just going to talk to you all a little bit just about some of the things that I did right and I did wrong. First thing that I did right is that when I came over to MGR and I saw that I could make money here, I decided I'm going to save $30,000 to get my truck. That was my business plan. I'm not going to go into the buying phase, okay, of getting this truck until I get $30,000. And I think that's a really smart way to go into it. I see a lot of guys, they try and get into this business with $5,000 or something like that. Listen, if $5,000 is like the best that you can do, like, you know, it takes you 7, 8, 9 months to save $5K because you got a family and things like that going on, I understand, but also understand this, that's a risk, man. If you save $5K and you put $5K down and you're going into business for yourself with $5K, that's a high risk. And for you guys that can come out here, you can make more money. Say you can work 6 months to a year and save $30,000, right? That's a lot smarter way to do business, because business is all about assessing and mitigating risk. And going into business with $5,000 down, very little money in your pocket, not so fucking bright. So save your money and get your credit score up. Work on your own personal finances, because if you're one of those people, you're like a lot of people in this fucking country, you cannot manage your own finances, right? You're in debt like real bad, your credit score, and you're not even working on it. It's not even entering your head. You know what I mean? You keep on spending money on bullshit that you don't need, swiping fucking credit cards. Let me tell you something. You're not gonna be successful in business, man. You're not. You're gonna fail because you have a fucking problem with your fucking spending. All right? And I know I'm getting intense in this video, but this is a big problem with a lot of people out here. So I really want to make that clear. If you cannot manage your own finances, get them together, man, before you go into business for yourself. Because only a person foolish enough who cannot manage his own finances, and that type of foolish mentality is the same type of foolish mentality that will make you think that you know that going into business for yourself with $5 grand down and a fucked up credit score, that's, you see, there's a trend there. It's called stupidity, and you really need to wake up and break that shit. Read some books, man, expand your mind, and get ready for your next level, okay? So that's tip number 1. If you can, save $20,000 to $30,000, okay? All right. Tip number 2: by saving $20,000 to $30,000, you're gonna have a lower payment, okay? You're gonna have more money in the bank for repairs, okay? It's gonna be a lot less stress, and you're gonna be able to buy from more reputable dealers. All right. I bought through MHC. I did quite a bit of research and stuff like that, and there's a lot of people that sell you a lot of trucks, man. There's a lot of dealers and hustlers and shysters out there that will fuck you over. And I'll tell you what, if you're walking into a place like MHC or Rush Truck Lines or Freightliner or Volvo with $5 grand down and a jacked up credit score, they're gonna tell you to walk your ass right back out of the fucking dealership. So having $20,000 to $30,000 is gonna get you into a better situation so you can do business with more reputable people, rather than just like your mom and pop guys trying to hustle you out of your own money. That's tip number 2. Do business with a reputable dealership. All right, tip number 3, work with a good salesperson. I worked with a good salesperson. Some of the things that happened, some of the things that happened in the deal, all right, had nothing to do with my sales rep, had to do with delivery of the vehicle, some things, because work with a good sales rep. That's number 3. You want to establish a good rapport and a good relationship with anybody that you're doing business with. That's really important. That way, with that type of rapport, you build that type of trust. You can, it's good for you, because especially if you're a first-time truck buyer, you don't know shit about buying trucks, man. You don't know shit about the market. You don't know shit about buying trucks. You don't know shit about warranties. Most of us out here, especially as young drivers, we don't know anything about maintenance or what. We don't even know what a good truck is, to be quite honest with you. Most of us don't even do our pre-trips daily. Most of us are not mechanically inclined out here, so you need to work with someone that knows more than you. You need to find someone that you can trust in the business, trust somewhat, so that if shit goes south with your truck, that they got your back. All right, and I'm very glad that I did that. Tip number 4, whenever you go into the buying phase, right? So you have the you have the saving phase, and then as you start coming closer to saving your money, you start going into the looking phase. And I say that because if you start going into the buying phase when like you're saved up at like 10 grand, but your goal's 25 grand, you get on the phone with these sales reps. These sales reps are going to really make it sound like it's smarter to go ahead and do business now, and you're going to have this feeling that you're not going to be able to get a good deal in a couple months, that you're missing something. So I stayed away from that. When I didn't go into the looking phase until about a month and a half out. Okay, now whenever I went into the buying phase, right, whenever I decided I was going to buy, I got out of my truck completely. I put everything. I put my lease away. That was it. And I went home and I was going to focus on buying the right truck. Okay, because I had the money in the bank, all right, already, I could do that. I could take time off to sit down, okay, at the comfort of my home, talk to my sales reps, and make what I felt to be was the best decision for myself. So if you save money, find a good sales rep, do business with a reputable dealer, and you take off whenever you're ready to buy your truck, to buy the right truck, I think that's a good tip. Now, here's something that I would warn about, and I'm just going to jump into this a little bit. Okay, so whenever I bought my truck sight unseen. In a way, I didn't buy it sight unseen, but I held it sight unseen. I went through a lot of the initial paperwork sight unseen. I bought my truck from a sales rep. The sales rep that I was working with was out of Springdale, Arkansas. He was great. We went through all the inventory throughout the nation. Initially I was looking for a Freightliner or a Volvo. Specifically, I was looking for a Freightliner. That's another tip I'll throw in there. Don't get yourself so caught up and you got to have this truck or that truck, okay? Keep an open mind like I did, because whenever I got out into the truck buying market, I thought that the Freightliner would be the biggest bang for my buck. But what I found was that because Freightliners are so sought after, because a lot of like small fleets are kind of based off Freightliners because they are cheap to work on, they tend to be cheaper, they tend to have a reputation for being cheaper. I overlooked Kenworths, and really once I started to see the price difference, once I saw that I could get a Kenworth for a couple $1,000s more, that's what I went with. Of course, it was a little bit nicer truck, a little bit better resale value. It's just a fucking nicer truck, right, for a few $1,000s more. But inventory goes really quick, all right? So when you're looking at a truck, it's not like buying a car, especially once you, like me, you're looking for an automatic Kenworth. Once I decided on that, you know, like there's only a few of these in every state, okay? And you don't have time to be driving around. So what you really got to do is you got to find, like I said, a reputable dealer. You got to find a salesman that you trust, someone that's going to have your back. That way you feel comfortable. Go ahead and putting money down and getting into the financing of the deal. That way you're not wasting your time. And once you go over there, like I did, you test drive the truck. And if the truck is what it was said to you, what was on paper, then you can go ahead and finalize the paperwork. And if not, you can walk away. So I went through, me and my sales rep, we sat down hours over the phone going through all the inventory in MHC, and I decided on this white Kenworth T680 Chattanooga. It was 403,000 miles, had an APU, gently used tires, clean on the inside, fresh, man, fresh. At least that's what I thought. You see this crack over here. I'm gonna get to all this, okay? So anyways, that's what I decided on, because it was lower in the miles. I wanted something closer to 400, not 500,000 miles, all right? And the truck, I negotiated out like a 2-year warranty. That's another tip that I give you, man. You guys better get a warranty, and I mean, just you better get it on all major components too, especially if you can't work on your shit, which most of us can't. And even if you can, man, can you really want to be bothered doing all that? So I got the premium 2000 warranty negotiated into my deal as well with all the other stuff that I said. All right, 2 years, 250,000 miles, because that's my goal, is to keep this truck for 2 years. And that covers engine, ECM, turbo, transmission, DEF, you know, fuel injectors, all major components. All right, 2 years, 250,000 miles. That's really a must. If you're not doing that, you're really fucking up out here. I can't even imagine buying a used truck without that type of warranty. It's just too big a risk, man. So once I got the deal worked out on paper, the money and all this type of stuff, which the truck cost $62,500, okay, I went ahead out to Chattanooga. Now when I went to Chattanooga, this is when shit kind of took a turn. All right, when I got out to Chattanooga and I put eyes on the truck, I found out that the tires were recaps. They weren't that good a condition. The truck was not detailed. It was not even clean on the inside. You see that? Some of the consoles and shit was. Now, mind you, they sent me pictures of it, but I didn't see that picture. Okay, and the pictures can be very, very misleading. Let me tell you. So I found out that the tires were recaps. I don't fuck with recaps, and they were not even in good condition. A couple of them were in okay condition, but some of them really looking to be replaced fairly soon. I mean, yeah, I could work with it for a little while, but this is not what was told to me. The truck was not detailed. I was furious about this, and I knew once I saw that the truck was not detailed, there was going to be issues with this shit. All right, it's something I learned when I was in the military called perception is reality. And when I was in the military, I really wasn't too good at being a Navy sailor because, I don't know, I was just young and I just don't like being told what to do. Kind of like why I'm good at being a truck driver. And one of the dumb things that they used to make us do, but something that, you know, once as I've gotten older, I kind of see the point in it, is like, I would really like stress how your uniform looks, like polishing your boots and keeping your uniform looking good, making sure you're shaving every day, all of this stuff. Now, I always had a really big problem with this when I was younger, maybe because it was a shitbag when I was in the military. Shitbag, someone that's not really doing too good in the military. Because if you can't keep your uniform together, if you can't get that right, if you can't dress yourself, shave yourself, get your shoes shined, do these very basic things, there's probably going to be other things that you're doing in your real job, the job that you do every day, that's not, you see, it's attention to detail. And see, I learned that lesson. I learned it too late for me to be successful in the military, but I learned that shit, that hey, this truck's not detailed, so if they're trying to sell me a dirty truck, an MHC, there's probably going to be some other fucking problems. All right, so anyways, I had to go back, I had to get angry, get pissed off, and had to get back on the phone with my sales rep. And see, there became this disconnect because my sales rep, he wanted what was best for me, but the people at Chattanooga didn't give a shit, because this, even though they were selling, the truck was coming off their lot, the deal was for my sales rep. You see what I'm saying? So the interest, my satisfaction, me being satisfied, was in the interest of my sales rep in Springdale, Arkansas. But the interest, Chattanooga had very little interest. They didn't give a shit whether the truck was clean. They didn't give a shit whether they sent me misleading pictures. It was them who said that, because before I went out there, I called up the sales manager and he put eyes on me and he walked through the truck with me over the phone and he sent me some pictures. It wasn't that they were like, obviously not fabricated pictures, but you know, pictures can be misleading. We all know this. So anyways, that's kind of like what happened, is that my sales rep had my best interest in mind, but the people at Chattanooga, they didn't really give a shit. So I had to get back on the phone. I had to renegotiate that I'm going to get my truck detailed. It's not yet detailed. I'm going to get my truck detailed, taking it to Springdale. They're going to detail it. I'm not going to cost them, charge me for that. Now, the APU, they said worked, found out it didn't work, needed maintenance, but they weren't charging me for the APU, so I'll let that slide. All right. I think the APU just needs some maintenance. I don't really know. Right now, I'm not really too worried about it. And the tires needed to be replaced. Now, this right here is where, like I said, was $62,500. Okay, so when I found out all this stuff, they took another $500 off the price, right? And I'm gonna get a brand new set of 8 drive tires at a great price, phenomenal price. I'm gonna get like 33% off. I'm gonna get them at cost. Whatever the MHC gets them for, I'm getting them for that. Premium tires. So I was happy with the deal, and it went from being a great deal, okay, I thought I had new tires, APU was working, and the truck was clean, to being what I considered to be just a fair deal. Truck was not detailed, but they're gonna detail it, okay, so it was a hassle, but I could live with it. The tires weren't new, but they're gonna give me a really good deal on tires. I could live with that. I thought that was fair, okay. And the APU didn't work, but they weren't charging me like for the APU. So it wasn't great, but it was fair. So it was okay with that. I said, that's fair. Now, like going into this, you know, you're going into the deal, you're working with the sales reps, you're there picking up the truck. There's a lot of things going on. It's kind of nerve-wracking and all this type of stuff. So some of the things, this is where it's like I didn't slip up, but I did slip up. And where I slipped up was, and this is what took it from a fair deal. I don't want to say that this wasn't a bad deal. It just was a bitch, okay? Because before I asked them for the DOT long form inspection, they said, my sales rep said, this was DOT inspected. The people at Chattanooga said it was DOT inspected. I verified that. I said, is this truck? I said, DOT inspected. I said, let me get that. Let me get the maintenance reports. But in all the clusterfuck of like the last hour, because there was like a coolant light on, and at this time, like my nerves were up. I didn't get that. So I drove off the lot without the DOT long form, and I drove off the lot without the maintenance records. So I get up to Chicago. I'm over here trying to register my truck, and they're like, "You got your DOT long form?" I'm thinking it's in the truck or something like that. See, I'm naive. I got this company mindset still, kind of like, it's another thing in the military they taught me. Said trust but verify. Trust what people say, but verify that shit, right? And I trusted these people, but I did not verify, all right? And even though I was attempting to verify, I didn't follow through with it. So anyways, I realized I didn't have the DOT long form inspection. So I call up MHC in Chattanooga, and I call the service department. Oh my gosh, they was not DOT inspected. How the fuck you gonna sell me a truck? It wasn't DOT inspected. I was driving all the way to Chicago in a truck that was not DOT inspected. So I was really pissed off about that, but I'm thinking, okay, $75. Let me just screw it, 75 bucks. So I took it on Friday over to garage here, local garage, MGR truck repair in Chicago. These guys seem like they're pretty chill. I like them, so I'm giving them a shout out. And they do a DOT inspection. Well, they found out like a little running light, like a headlight above the windshield running light, whatever you want to call it. That was out. One of those was out. I could live with that. But then all 4 brake chambers needed to be replaced. $1,000. Oh my gosh. Pissed off. Angry as hell. Furious. So what do? At this point, I'm pissed off because this truck, I've been misled, I've been lied to, not by my sales rep, but these people in Chattanooga. And it's a very fine line in sales. I used to work in sales between lying and selling. So it's a fine line there. I felt like they really were much closer to the lying side of the spectrum. And I think there was just a lot of confusion out there. I'm trying to be as fair as I can to the people in Chattanooga because they did try and make it right with me. So I don't want to put them on blast too much. I wouldn't recommend doing business with them at this point because of my personal experience. Not in Chattanooga. I still think it was okay. I'm glad I did business with MHC because let me tell you why. This is the difference. So although it wasn't DOT inspected, it needed the 4 brake chambers, it needed all this type of work done, I cussed her ass out, threatened with lawsuit. It wasn't the way that I wanted to do things, but they ended up covering the brake job and the DOT inspection, and they also threw me some free PM. See, they had my back, and I do appreciate that. Because if I did business with a slimy sleazebag, right, just somebody was selling a truck, someone I didn't know, some mom and pop, right, you think they would have done that shit? Hell no, I would have been out on my own, right? Because they don't give a shit about the reputation. That's what happens whenever you try and buy trucks for people with $5,000 in bad credit. They're not going to have your back. MHC did have my back. They know that they messed up and they tried to make it right. They did make it right. They're making it right. And I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. So I still don't regret doing business with MHC. Yes, the process, I'm getting my DOT inspection, I'm gonna get my new tires, I'm gonna get the truck detailed, everything's gonna come to fruition, right? It didn't happen when I believe that it should have happened, but at least it's gonna happen, okay? And so that was really it. So now I'm in Chicago, and I'm sitting in my truck right now, and I'm gonna get a load to Arkansas, I'm gonna get these new tires, I'm gonna get it detailed and all these sorts of things. So this was my experience in a nutshell of me, buying my truck. And you might say, like, how much money did you put down? I put down $13,000. That's what I put down. I put down $13K. My commercial credit, even though I have decent credit, I have a 750 credit score, my commercial credit I went through MHC Financial. They charged me like 18% interest. I also tried to go through some banks or whatever. Most of them said they didn't either give loans, or the process to getting loan would have took a couple weeks. I just didn't have that type of time. Could have gotten a better rate if I would have went through. Like I think I could have got financed through Wells Fargo. I could have got a better rate, I believe. I'm sure if I went through them, but I don't think it would have been like huge. You know, my goal is that I'm going to go ahead and stick it out for 6 months to a year, and after that I'll refinance, put some more money down, and have a really low payment. That's my goal. And my truck payment is like $1,650 a month. All right, I was paying $5,000 a month for a truck before. Now I'm paying $1,650. Can you imagine the relief? Can you imagine the relief? All right, plus, you know, if you're familiar with MGR, I've already paid up my truck deposit, which I'll be getting back, and my escrow is almost paid up. Like, it should be paid up, actually, or very close to it. So I'm not gonna have to worry about that. So if you're familiar with the MGR program, come in here, save your money, pay your bills, and this is a relief. Yes, shit has went not the way that I wanted it to go. Everybody wants it to be perfect, you know. They want everything to go fine, but I was expecting this. But back to my first point, man. Save your money. Don't get into such a rush, especially if you're over here at MGR, man. Do your full 3 months, do your 4 months, or if it takes 6, 8, 9 months, a year, do it that way. Because when shit hit the fan up here, I'm not working. I'm fine though, because I got money in the bank. I'm not worried about it, man. The stress, it's over. The stress of the lease life and the high payments, that's over. It's done. When I walked out of the lease truck, it's done. All right, because I put myself in the right position. Now I get to enjoy being an owner-operator rather than stressing out about being an owner-operator. Because if you go from being a lease operator, like say at MGR, with all this full maintenance and stuff like that, and you come into the owner-operator life the wrong way, it can be more stressful. This is a huge liability. There's a lot of paperwork involved, and there's a huge liability, and there's a lot of risk involved with these trucks and these parts. So you want to do things like get a warranty, buy from a reputable dealer, and do everything the right way the first time. So without further ado, let me go ahead and show you my truck. It's not detailed. I'll go ahead and show you again whenever it is detailed. But this right here, this is kind of my truck. You kind of see here, it's got the big back. If you're used to the T680, you know, let me go ahead and step outside here. Hold on, let me see. I'm just gonna give you a little glance at it. It's white, it's beautiful. I love this truck up here in Chicago. That's it right here. Hey, baby, bang. That's it. White can't work, T680. It's a pretty ass truck, man. Very, very pretty truck. Beautiful. Nice. These T680s are like some of the prettiest trucks on the road, man. I love them. I'm so glad, you know, I got this over a Freightliner or a Volvo. Shit rides like a Cadillac. Nice. It rides nicer, in my opinion, than my 2018 Freightliner did that I was leasing from MGR, which was it wasn't a bad ride either, you know. And it's hopefully, you know, my goal is to get the APU and everything working eventually, and to do all these sorts of things, but just like one thing at a time. I really hope that this video helps you all out. I hope my experience helps you all out. I know I've been like not making videos like I was, but I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna keep better in touch, letting people know like what's going on with the market and these sorts of things, you know. I mean, this is where I am. I came here like to the owner op like in less than 2 years of being in trucking. You can do it, especially if you're a young guy, you know. Don't be worried about like, you know, having a girlfriend and all this type of stuff. Don't get all focused on that bullshit, man. Work on yourself, man. Get yourself financially set up so you can do what you want, you know. There's somebody out there, it's called Grant Cardone. He's someone that I take some of my advice from. He says he says like this in his advice. He says He says, pay the price now. Pay your price now. Pay your dues now, so you can pay any price in the future. Right? So pay the fucking price, man. Go to work your ass off. Don't, especially if you're a young guy, work your ass off. Pay the price now. Don't get caught up chasing tail, spending money on bullshit. Pay that price now so that you can pay any price in the future, okay? And that's really good advice. And I hope, you know, that's Grant Cardone, he told me that. So I'm gonna keep on doing more YouTube videos, man. I hope this video serves you well. I hope wherever you all are at, on the road or sitting at home, relaxing, I hope that you all have like a beautiful day, whatever day that is. It's a nice sunny day here in Chicago. So I guess I'm just gonna kick it, and I'll catch you all later, man. Be easy, everybody.